and welcome to our viewers from around the world. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and one of the MCs here at Gold Learning. And today I'm here with Dr. Caraciolo Fernandes, and we are going to talk about his upcoming presentation titled Improving the Quality of Neonatal Transport. Welcome, Dr. Fernandes.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here with us. We're going to go, talk about your presentation in just a little bit, but before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Where in the world are you located?
I'm currently in Houston, Texas. I practice at Texas Children's Hospital, which is probably one of the largest, if not the largest, children's hospital in the country. And it's affiliated to Baylor College of Medicine, which is a very large, nationally and internationally recognized College of Medicine.
Wonderful. That's what we see the hospital in the background there of your background, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you for sharing that. You have such an impressive background. You have your career spans over 3 decades and various countries and continents. So give us a little bit of an overview of your journey.
Certainly. So I grew up in Bombay, India, and I knew from a very early in my career that I was interested in intensive care. And in the 1980s, when I started, we did not really have much intensive care in India, which made me set my sights on going abroad for training. From India, I traveled to Australia, where I spent 2 years in Australia learning about neonatal intensive care. And I discovered that the US was ahead of Australia at that point in time. So I decided to come to the US. And I've been at Texas Children's and Baylor College of Medicine since '94, starting as a neonatology fellow and then joining the faculty, which I've been on since 1998. I've been part of the transport team at Texas Children's, the medical director for the last decade plus. I've been involved in quality improvement work since about that same time. I did my training in quality improvement and was bit by the QI bug through training uh, at the Intermountain Healthcare facilities in Utah with Brent James.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. One thing I am curious about is you're teaching medical students, pediatric residents, and neonatology fellows. Looking back now over your career, a lot probably has changed, especially in the neonatal intensive care unit. The technology has advanced, and you are very much interested and active in the field of quality improvement. What are you giving or sharing with your students today that you wish you had that information when you started out?
I think probably if I had to pick one item, I would say it's mindset. Uh, 20 years ago, we had a mindset of errors and fault. And if
Mhm.
things did not work out, people would look around to see who should we blame. And
Mhm.
we've made a big change in the last 20 years where we recognize that systems of care are important and we need to focus on the system and not the individual. And even where individuals are involved, the system needs to help individuals to learn how to do things better.
Mhm.
Uh, if I had to pick one something, it would be mindset. We've
Mindset.
moved from an era of quality assurance and the industrial revolution to QI, where
Yeah,
we learn and every day I learn. In fact, I tell my students I've learned more since my fellowship than I did in my fellowship.
interesting. Fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing that mindset. You were so right. In the past, we've always been so focused on the individuals finding the one at fault and punishing or correcting whatever was going on, but it's the system and the mindset. I appreciate that answer very much. Thank you so much. So let's talk about the presentation. The presentation is titled Improving the Quality of Neonatal Care. And this is part of the brand new Safe Travels Best Practices for Neonatal Transport lecture pack here at Gold. First of all, improving quality of neonatal transport. First of all, I have to say I have great admiration and respect for anybody working in such a in the area of transport and working in such tight places and moving at the same time as well, and then caring for this tiny patient whose state can deteriorate very quickly. So quality improvement must be crucial. I mean, it's crucial in all areas, but I can imagine it being particularly important in this area.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that we've discovered over the last 2 decades is that uh, babies who are transported from outside hospitals have worse outcomes than those that are born within the institution. So there is an inherent danger when you're transporting fragile infants from one location to the other.
Mhm,
Now, we do have to move babies. There's no
mhm,
way to avoid it because not all centers will have the technology or the expertise or the personnel to take care of them. So we do have to move the babies, but at the same time, it's important to be able to move them and to do it in the safest manner possible, the quickest manner possible. And all transport teams would do well by learning how to improve the quality of their transport. Uh, it's a journey. It's
mhm.
a journey from wherever you are, no matter where you are, to where you want to get to.
Yeah.
And this lecture will actually focus on that, taking you from the grassroots to something where you feel confident of doing something to improve the quality of your care.
And I believe you're giving us actual tools so we can really check into that and get started no matter where we are to start some kind of quality improvement QI project there as well, no matter where we are, right?
Absolutely. I've the talk's actually divided into two parts. One is talking about the basics of quality improvement. So you
Hmm.
could actually use those tools no matter where you are, regardless of transport. And then one part of it is focused on transport itself. I'd like to think that children, especially young children, are good at QI. And I
Hmm.
know all of you would recognize that if you've got a child, they've asked a question 10
Yes.
different times until they get the answer. That's QI at work. They just don't call it QI.
So we can learn from the children, go back into being curious, ask questions, and figure things out until we get the result we're looking for, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Dr. Fernandez, before I let you go here, what little nugget of wisdom can you share with us here when it comes to that topic? And it's probably difficult because I said one, so you can pick something.
I would say that probably the model for improvement is a readily available, easy to learn tool that you could apply to any QI project, no matter where. So if you
Mhm,
had to learn something, look and embrace the model for improvement.
mhm. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Fernandez, for sitting down here with me and chatting about your upcoming presentation and about your work that you do so wonderfully. Thank you so much.
Not at all. It's my pleasure.
And for our viewers, the presentation Improving the Quality of Neonatal Transport is is part of the Safe Travels Best Practices for Neonatal Transport lecture pack here at Gold. It will be available on June 1st. And if you would like to find out more about this presentation and the other presentations in the lecture pack, we would like to invite you to go to Gold Neonatal and goldlearning.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.